Selling days with Lisa Hayes. With the price she pays, you'll be amazed. She's a national.
Can someone with dementia sell their house in the UK? Can someone with dementia sell their house? The answer is yes. A person with dementia can sell their house if they are found to still have the mental power to handle such a transaction. Since dementia is progressive, the symptoms tend to get worse over time to the extent of the person losing their capacity to make important decisions on their own. However, there's a caveat. You must try to familiarize yourself with the legal issues relating to a person living with dementia, more specifically their rights and how you can help them when it comes to selling their house. Let's face it, selling your house is often a complicated process, much less when a person has dementia. Any sensible attorney will agree with the fact that the owner of a house can transfer ownership to a buyer. However, in the case where they're incapacitated, they may appoint someone to act on their behalf through the trusteeship. Only then can a sale take place. This means that a family member doesn't have the legal authority to sell the home even if you're the caregiver. There are several reasons why a person living with dementia might have to dispose of their house, but here are two common ones. Downsizing. As the dementia progresses, a person might need to relocate or move to a much smaller house that is nearer to relatives so they can get help and care. Move into care. If the person has been living alone, then it's sensible for them to dispose of their house, move into a home for care and use the funds to finance care costs. No matter the reason behind wanting to sell a property owned by a person living with dementia, you must keep in mind there are processes and laws that must be followed to ensure it's done in the best interests of the person. In the initial stages, the symptoms are not so severe, so the person might not need help to dispose of their property. However, the condition could weaken their capacity to handle processes and their decision-making capacity concerning the sale process of property in the later stages. The law requires that a person living with dementia is assessed to ascertain if they are mentally capable of making some decisions at a given time. Big decisions such as the sale process of property require a professional to assess the situation first. Should the findings of the assessment reveal that the person lacks the mental power to make critical decisions, then the responsibility is passed to the person with legal obligation to act on their behalf. What does the process of selling a home for a person with dementia entail? The decision to dispose of a house owned by a person with dementia can only be reached when it's for their benefit. Even then, not everyone can make this decision. It has to be someone that is legally mandated to act, usually a person with trusteeship for financial affairs and property or a deputy. It's often easier to dispose of a house owned by a person with dementia when they had made prior plans. A trusteeship doesn't need to apply for consent from the court to make decisions regarding selling of property. In the absence of an LPA, no one can sell the property till the court authorizes the appointment of a deputy. What rules govern the sale of a house with a person with dementia? In Wales and England, the 2005 Act governing mental capacity issues offers protection for people who are vulnerable and lack mental power to make key decisions on their own. This legislation helps protect the interests of people with dementia, especially when the condition advances and the cognitive ability is declining. The Act is useful as it helps to ascertain if someone with dementia is capable of making a decision to dispose of the property they own. This Act is also helpful for people who have dementia to make prior plans and choose their executor to act on their behalf when their mental capacity declines. When a person living with dementia appoints their LPA at the initial stages, it helps in making important decisions that include selling property later. In addition, it offers the person who has dementia will have peace that their wishes will be granted, and interests protected despite their declining mental capacity. Steps to follow when selling a home for a person living with dementia. Here are the steps to follow when a person living with dementia wants to sell their property. Discuss about it. You must consult the person who has dementia to get their opinions and views on the idea of selling their property even when they aren't trusted to have the mental power to make a decision. Times assess their mental capacity. It's important to confirm that the person living with dementia possesses mental power to make a decision regarding selling a house to completion. A professional must do the assessment. If they are able to complete the process, then you can offer them support through the process. Times take their best interests into account. Make sure the sale is pursued in the best interests of the person. You can do this by consulting the person's family. Consider their present and past wishes, beliefs, feelings and values. Times trusteeship. When a person living who has dementia is confirmed to lack mental power to sell property, it is in their best interest to sell the property on their behalf. So, you must find the person appointed with the trusteeship to handle financial matters and over administration of property. This is the only person that can sell the property. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to check out the blog post version for a lot more information.
If you're trying to sell but it's not going well, if you can't get a sale and the estate agent fell, now is the time for you to jump and praise. 7 days with Lisa Hayes. With the price she pays, you'll be amazed. She's a national cash buyer and she'll pay you much higher today.